Hello, my name is Brandon Noel. I'm a comic book artist, founder of Destiny Comics, and the main publisher here within the company. Basically, I wear many hats within Destiny Comics, and what you're watching is sped up footage of me inking the cover for 8-Bit Pulp Volume 4. 8-Bit Pulp is our pulp magazine. You heard that right. We decided about a year ago to bring back the pulp medium. What that means is our pulp magazine is a magazine filled with short stories. We've decided to do short stories in comic book format, as well as photograph essay and all kinds of different stuff. But this is the cover, or my cover anyway, because 8-Bit Pulp Volume 4 is our first Kickstarter, so that means we did variant covers. My cover, I've done all the covers for volumes 1 through 4, or at least this cover. And one thing I like to do, or try to do within the 8-Bit Pulp covers, is I like 2 images to be on the page. Within the first cover, there's this woman sitting on this desk, and there's a man. You just see, like, almost like the old Spirit comics, the octopus's hand holding the gun. Or if your experience with the Spirit is the movie, a better analogy is Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. The octopus was a villain whom you actually never saw. The first time we actually ever saw him was in the movie, as played by Samuel L. Jackson, because the original comics, all you saw was his hand. Very much like Dr. Claw in Inspector Gadget. Well, anyway, you have this octopus-inspired hand holding a gun pointing at this woman, and behind her is this open window, and you see like an alien invasion going on. There's tentacles, there's a vampire fighting with his tentacle. So that's what I did for the first cover. The second cover, I did a video game, like an old 8-bit cartridge, and then the label was this painting that I did. And the third one was actually a photo of my desk with a painting of our model for number 3 right there on the board. So I like the 2-image cover, as it were. It's kind of like what I like to see in 8-Bit Pulp. With that said, there's a couple of covers within 8-Bit Pulp, the Kickstarter, that are exclusive to the Kickstarter supporters that don't have the dual image. This one is basically a bunch of zombies at a drive-in movie theater. Ever since I thought of the zombie issue, that's the cover I wanted to do. It's basically you have these zombies sitting, or sitting there in these old fancy 1950s car, and they're it's a lighter zombie treatment than what we could have gone with the rotting corpse and the gore and stuff. But I felt there was going to be enough of that within the book that I felt comfortable doing more of a light-hearted cover, with going more of like the 50s pulp or pin-up style zombie thing. And then on the movie screen that they're watching is a version of one of the comics in the book, the Space Case story, which is like our 50s Adam Strange style comic and we've been running the Space Case stuff for 3-4 months now, all zombies, and it came out of the zombie anthology because we knew 6 months out we were going to do the zombie anthology, and so 3-4 months out is when we started doing Space Case, because that way I could have something that was ongoing within 8-Bit Pulp. So that way the zombie issue, while it does stand alone, each volume is a standalone book. There is a holdover from the other stuff because you have a zombie story that is part 2 of an ongoing series in the comics anyway, with Space Case. And that's also my nod or homage to Dead Space with the alien zombie, which I mentioned somewhere in one of the interviews or videos, that the alien zombie is one that's not really well done, or not done often, because you have like Night of the Creeps, and then you have Night of the Creeps, Dead Space, and that's really it. That's all there is as far as alien zombies that I'm aware of. If there's more of them out there, please leave a link or comment down below, because I'd love to watch another type of alien zombie scenario. But like I said, I'm brush inking, which is more like painting. I have more of a painting background, so it's easier for me to work with a brush. Although I resisted that early on when I started getting into comics, like, no, I gotta work nib. I have to work crow's quill. It's gotta be, these thick, bold lines. And it's only been the last year or so that I realized I can do thick, bold, extreme lines with a brush, and it feels more natural. With that said, if you are a nib inker or whatever, that's not a knock against it. It's just what I find is more comfortable is the brush. I go down, and there are better brushes for inks. I just buy the cheap brushes because ink is a corrosive element. It's going to break down or destroy whatever brush you're working with eventually, or nib. If you don't clean out your nibs or whatever, they will rust because of the ink. One of the things you'll notice is there's tentacles running around the projection. Tentacles is just something I like to draw. I draw it a lot. There was, I don't know if you ever saw Bubba Hotep, but I did a piece of fan art years ago with Bubba Hotep fighting these tentacles. And ever since then, I've just kind of fallen in love with the idea of fighting these epic sea monsters. Although I cheated knowing that this was a zombie issue, and I threw the tentacles in there. I decided off to the right side of the page to make the extension of the tentacles Cthulhu. I went ahead and drew or inked a Cthulhu off to the side, because Cthulhu does come out of pulp. He is a pulp character. He was originally printed in the pulps. We've done one Cthulhu story a while back, and to be honest, I was really nervous about publishing a Cthulhu story. If it wasn't as written as well as it was, I wouldn't have published it. Cthulhu is public domain, if you're wondering, but the reason why I didn't feel comfortable publishing it is it was the first time we published something that wasn't ours. It was this other well-known entity. But like I said, the story was so well done, and it was done within the Lovecraftian universe that I felt it was better than some of the other stories I had read where our authors had taken a crack at Cthulhu and kind of missed the mark. So like I said, I had no qualms about putting Cthulhu on the cover, even though he's not really in the book per se. But we've done, and we did the one piece with him that I was like, okay, I can throw him in there. to explain the tentacles more or less. But the focus is the zombies sitting there having their movie night, and the gag evolved out of that with the one zombie going, brains, brains, get your brains here, you know, he's selling at the drive-in. So, well, there you go. There's your inking tutorial or inking video. Thank you for your time.